What was your strangest experience that made you want to believe in the paranormal? So working maintenance for a senior housing property, which I did on call work for, in each apartment, they have a pull string attached to a light switch about 5 off the floor that sets off a bell outside and unlocks their front door. This is a safety thing. So if you fall getting out of the shower, etc., it can alert someone. Anyways, I got a call that Unit 14 had a call bell going off. So I drove it out to the property, walked into the apartment, and no one was home. The switch was pulled down to the on position. I reset it, locked the door, and left no freaking clue how it was pulled. Drive about a mile. Away, got another call, same issue, same apartment. Walked in switch, is pulled down again. I figure, well, shit, maybe the switch spring is shot. So I replaced the entire switch, tested, then searched the entire apartment under every cabinet, the bed, closets, the couch, except for there's not a soul there. Or yes, I'd say like lock the door and leave again. And an hour or so later, I get a third call, same issue. I go back out, reset it, and that's the end of it. Still no one in the unit. Where this gets creepy is I find it the next day. The lady that lived there was in the hospital and died that evening, that her pull cord kept getting tripped. I can't explain it. It didn't make sense, but it freaked me the hell out. This is 100 true stories.
It's more than a decade ago. My then boyfriend persuaded me to use a Ouija board. At the time, we lived in his parents' house, each having our own room, me in the basement and he on the main floor. We were both skeptics, so we decided to try it as a fun and lighthearted experiment. I don't recall the exact details of the conversation, but it started with a casual hello and quickly escalated into confusion and panic, prompting us to hurriedly say goodbye. Initially, I thought my boyfriend was just playing a prank by moving the planchette, but the strange events that followed told a different story. The first odd incident occurred a few weeks later. We were in his room and he was listening to music with headphones on. We decided to take a nap. After he paused the music video and we lay down, he fell asleep. I was half awake when about 30 minutes later, I randomly opened my eyes and saw the music video player refresh, not the entire webpage, just the player. The music started blaring at maximum volume through the speakers, not his headphones, and it wasn't at the usual reasonable volume he had it set to. This startled him awake, and we tried unsuccessfully for an hour to recreate the event. Then there was a time when I was alone in the house. I was washing dishes at the kitchen sink with the stairs to the basement behind me on the right and the hallway to the bedrooms on the left. The old house made some noise. I thought I heard the squeak of my bedroom door opening downstairs. I turned off the water to listen, and I heard the distinct sound of my bedroom door being shut. In a typical horror movie fashion, I stood there frozen in shock. After a few seconds, the creaking of each step from the basement to the main floor began, followed by footsteps. It was as if someone was walking from the basement stairs to my left, through the kitchen behind me, and toward the hallway to my right. The sound of footsteps faded as they reached the carpeted area at the end of the hall where, interestingly, my boyfriend's room was. There was a pause, then the presence retraced its steps, went through the entire house, down the stairs, and opened and closed my bedroom door. I stood there for a few more seconds before realizing I had been holding my breath. I made an effort to avoid sleeping in my room after that, but his parents enforced strict rules. The last incident I recall happened when my boyfriend and I went out for a smoke in the middle of the night. His dad was sleeping in the living room, so the house was pitch black and we had to be very quiet. He walked ahead of me, and as we approached the garage door, about 5 feet from the basement stairs, I heard an indescribable sound. It was a mixture of a growl, a scream, a roar, and a whisper all at once. It began just behind me and to my right, in the direction of the stairs, and rapidly approached me, growing louder until I had to cover my ears. Then just as quickly, it faded ahead of me to my left. When we got outside, I exclaimed, "What on earth was that?" And my boyfriend had no clue about what I was talking about, even though he was right beside me when it happened. As an additional note, I started experiencing sleep paralysis for the first time during this period, but it only happened when I slept in my room. This stopped when I eventually moved out. Also, there was a single incident where I had a dream that seemed to predict the future and potentially saved my life. I swear it happened. To this day, I sometimes wonder if it was just stress or hallucinations, but I've been through more stressful situations without any signs of psychosis.